Let's call this General Committee meeting of the St. Bernard School Board to order. We will start with a prayer. Superintendent Voce and Dr. Lewis, would you lead us in the pledge?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for our people who have gathered this evening to provide educational programs for our children. We are grateful for their service. Father, we ask a special blessing upon our students as they finish state testing this week. We know they are more than prepared. Please give them the calm confidence necessary for them to do their best. As we wind down the school year, we are grateful for the many blessings you continue to bring to our schools, and we ask that you continue to guide our decision-making so that we truly work in the best interests of our students. These things we ask in your name.
Dr. Lewis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Superintendent Voce, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Acevedo? Here. Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mrs. DePata?
Here.
Mr. Egan? He's not with us. Mr. England?
Here.
Mrs. Dysart?
Here.
Dr. Kraft?
Here.
Dr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Nicosia?
Here.
Mr. Warner?
Here. Thank you. We'll begin our program agenda item 4. We'll introduce Mr. Wayne Warner, who is the principal of Chalmette High, and the assistant, Miss Carol Cookie Munt. So used to calling her Cookie, and I didn't want to do that. So we have a group that we usually have every year, and not the same people, but foreign exchange students. And so Chalmette High has those with us tonight, and we want to recognize those at this time, and we have a little gift for them, and hopefully their stay will be rewarding. Now, they'll be with us until the end of the year, Mr. Warner?
That's correct.
Okay. You may talk anything relative to that you
Well, I'd like to
that you'd
introduce to the board 5 exceptional foreign exchange students.
Okay.
They truly have been an addition to Chalmette High School, and all the students who have gotten to meet them truly have created some friendships that they will never forget. We have 5 foreign exchange students. They come from all parts of the world, and I'd like to introduce each one to you at this point. We have Diego Garcia from Spain. Diego, come stand here.
If you want. Yeah, you have something.
He wants to introduce
Why
them
don't
all
we
first.
introduce them all
Let
in
him
order,
introduce
okay?
And then they'll come
Yeah.
around. Okay.
You may have a question to ask of them.
You're right.
You never know.
Definitely.
All right. Dmitry Reshetnikov from Russia. Batul Ashurman from Jordan. Aileen Salia from Brazil. And Morris Meyer from Switzerland. And each one of these students chose to come to us, which I think is amazing. You know, they wound up in Chalmette, Louisiana. They wanted to come to the United States, and they wound up in Chalmette, Louisiana. And they've truly been a benefit to our school system. And I'd like you to ask them a question or two if you'd like.
Well, if you would let them reintroduce themselves and say anything about it and any experience they have.
About the experience at school?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
experience
they're,
in school.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any-
Real
Morris,
brief,
would you
whatever.
like to start, Morris?
or any extracurricular, any
Come stand.
activities they do. Why don't you step up
Step
to
up
the
to the
mic?
mic.
Step up to the mic when you.
So my name is Morris Meyer. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Switzerland, and I'm here in Chalmette, and I really like it. The school is awesome. I made new friendships. I met all these people, and we have wonderful principals, and Miss Mund and Mr. Warner are just awesome.
Yeah.
It's a nice experience here.
Glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Morris. We appreciate it.
Dmitry?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dmitry. I'm from Russia, from the former city of Stalingrad, and now it's Volgograd. And I'm so happy that I study in Chalmette, because I think that Chalmette is a unique experience. because I think the New Orleans got a big impact on Chalmette, and so we can experience a lot of different cultures. We can experience so nice people here. I got involved in sports teams as soccer, and I play tennis. And in USA, I really like to do volunteer community service. And so with school clubs, I already did 162 hours of volunteer service.
Thank you
And
very much,
Dimitri, didn't I
Dimitri.
see you at Dockville doing some of the tours?
Yes,
And
I did.
think I was in your
I
group.
did that cool tour,
Yeah.
yes.
That's great.
And didn't you win the Martin Luther King essay contest,
Yes,
didn't you?
ma'am.
Wow.
Hi, that's great.
wonderful.
Fantastic. Dimitri, we're proud of you. Thank you for being with us.
Hi everybody. My name is Diego. I'm a foreign exchange student from Spain. Well, as you know, I'm studying in Chalmette High right now. And I'm gonna say that in the beginning of the first semester, when I first came, it was kind of hard to understand the teachers, you know, because you came from a different country with a different language, and you say, well, it's a little bit hard. But then you get adapted to the language, you know, and it becomes easier. So, well, for me, that's like a big thing because now I can talk like 2 languages. And I don't know. It's amazing, you know. Plus, in Chalmette, right now I'm practicing tennis, and well, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Anyone got questions of Diego?
Hello.
Oh, again.
My name is Betul Asherman. I'm an exchange student from Jordan. It's kind of hard to think about what to say, but I'd like to thank everybody for the chances I got for like giving me chances to do everything I got to do in the United States. I'm actually very glad I came here because in Chalmette High I got to do a lot more than any other exchange student in the United States got to do. I'm very thankful to everybody. This has been such a great year. I actually wish it lasts longer. Activities I got involved in. I tried to join every school club. I volunteer, but I only did 72 hours. I did powerlifting for the first time. What more? That's pretty much it, but I'm very, very happy that I got to come to the United States.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betul.
Hey, I'm Aline. I'm 17. I'm from Brazil. I live in São Paulo. It's the biggest city in my country, and I'm already graduated in my country. And I just came here because it was a dream for me to come to learn more English, study in a high school like this because my school is not like that. I'm loving the experience. I'm with an amazing family. They are awesome, and I used to play volleyball in Brazil, but I came too late for the volleyball season here. And I played for 4 years, and I couldn't play here, but I'm having an amazing experience. I wish I could stay more, but I love America. It's my 5th time here, actually, so it's been a dream, everything for me.
Thank you, Aline. Okay.
Would you like to give them that present?
Yeah, Ms. Dyson wants to say something, and Mr. Fadanex, and anyone else?
I
Okay.
just would like to say thanks to
Mr.
each of you for coming tonight. It's truly a pleasure to meet you. I know I met one of the other, Alini from Brazil before, and it's amazing how well you all speak English. And I have a question to ask. Of all the schools that you could have chosen to come to, how did you come upon choosing Chalmette High School?
Okay.
Actually, I participated in contest called Future Leaders Exchange Program, sponsored by USA State Department, and so they chose school for us, But I'm so happy and thankful that I came here because it's so nice experience, and I did a lot of stuff that all my friends in different states really couldn't experience, especially Mardi Gras.
Very good answer, Dimitri.
Very
We're
good.
proud you came.
Well, thank you. And just as each of you said, you were learning about Chalmette and the students here. Our students are learning from you also. So it's a wonderful and unique experience for not only you, but all of our students and our staff and for us. And I know we have some of the families who are hosting you. If y'all would stand, and we'd like to give you a big thank you. Thanks to all of you. To take on another student, a teenager in your home is very nice, and we know that again you're learning from them also, and our appreciation goes out to you, Mr. Warner and Ms. Mont, and the whole staff of Chalmette High School. And we're very pleased that you like Chalmette High so much in Chalmette, and we're so glad you're with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dysett. Okay, Mr. Fada.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. Well, I want to reiterate something Ms. Dysart said. You all speak English very well. Would not know that you were just learning that language. You do very, very well. And we are happy to have you here. We're glad that you had a chance to come to Chalmette. Come back as often as you like. 5 more, 10, nice even numbers. As much as you like. And yes, Dimitri, there nowhere else is there Mardi Gras quite like here. But you've spent all day with your teachers. I'm going to give you an opportunity to turn the tables on them. So everyone here from a different country, I know Portuguese and some dialect of Russian, yes, and Spanish and Arabic. German. Okay, I'm going to give everybody here a chance to be teacher. You can all teach us how to say hello and goodbye in your language, if you would, please.
Okay, I already taught my whole family how to say it. Hi is oi,
Oi,
and bye is ciao.
ciao. Oh, that's easy.
Mhm.
Yeah, ciao.
Ciao.
Arrivederci, ciao, yes.
Russian is not that easy, kind of.
Yeah.
But I'll try.
I was waiting for you. I knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Hi would be привет.
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 Привет. I don't see anybody else trying. Come on.
Привет. Привет.
Привет.
Привет. Yes, it's
Привет.
hi. And bye, it's пока.
Boca.
Пока. Привет. Пока.
Привет. Boca. Very good.
Excellent.
We try.
Muchas gracias. See, I can do that one.
Well,
Muy bien.
as I see, Spanish is not too difficult for you because, with Mexico, it's but to say hello, hola,
Hola.
hola, hola,
Buenos dias, buenas noches,
Yeah.
buenas tardes. Yes.
and to say bye, you gotta say adios.
Adios.
Oh, we know that. Adios.
We know those. You think of a harder word that we may not know while they're taking their turn, okay?
Joanne,
Okay.
get us going.
Arabic is a little thick, but hi is marhaba.
Mahaba.
Marhaba.
Mahaba.
And bye is ma salame.
Ma salam.
All right. Thank you.
Y'all are very good teachers.
That's right.
In Switzerland, we don't speak the German that people speak in Germany. We speak Swiss German, and their hello is Grüezi wohl.
Say that again.
Grüezi wohl.
Grüezi wohl.
Yeah. And bye is adieu.
Adios.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Okay.
Adieu. Very good. Very good.
Well, I tell you, I've been to Russia. I've been to Spain, and I've been to Switzerland and Brazil, but I haven't been to Russia or Jordan. So if I plan a trip, I'll know who to call, and maybe we can meet your families as well.
Built-in tour guides.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for the foreign language lessons. Appreciate it. And continue to enjoy your stay here.
Yeah. Mr. Campbell?
Yes, I'm interested in your age and what class Are you senior?
She's
Yeah, I'm a junior here,
Junior?
but I'm supposed to be a senior because of the paperwork, and it was like more difficult to be a senior. And I'm a junior here.
Age?
I'm 17.
17.
Yeah, I'm about to turn 18 in June. I'm 17, and I have been taking advanced math, PE, and health, English 3, and chemistry.
I'm 16, and I'm junior. But thank you to Chalmette High that they gave us opportunity to graduate this year, to participate in graduation ceremony, and to say thank you. And I'm here from August, so I'm here for 2 semesters. And last semester I took Spanish, speech, English 3, and USA history. And this semester I'm taking civics, psychology, English 4, and ACT preparation.
All right. I just made 16 in February, so you know. And I'm a sophomore actually, and I've been here since August. So last semester I took English 3, then nutrition and food. That is actually an optative class, and you know, to learn how to cook and all. And then French, because I was interested in French too, and U.S. history. And then this semester I took computer architecture. That is also like a college class imparted by Nunes Community College. There is a teacher that comes from time to time to teach us about computers and all. And then I have, wait, I forgot.
That's okay.
I have Algebra 2 and World Geography and Biology. Yeah.
Very good.
All right. Thank you, Diego.
I just turned 16. I've been here since August. In the first half, I took English 3, U.S. history, TV production, and I actually can't remember.
So you're a junior?
No, I'm a sophomore, but I take junior classes.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the third class actually.
Chemistry.
I took chemistry honors, and in this half of the year, I'm taking algebra 2, R2, biology 2 honors in sports medicine.
And I just turned 17, and I'm here only for this semester. I arrived in January, and I'm taking English 3, environmental science, U.S. history, and psychology.
Okay. Thank you. Mr.
What do
Warner?
you think of the teachers?
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're great.
Good. We're just glad to have you.
Thank you.
Mr. Warner, you've got the floor.
Yeah, I'd just like to know, are any of you considering continuing your education in the U.S.?
Speak away.
Go ahead.
Alright, I want to become a heart surgeon, so I'm planning to come back for a part of my education. I really want to come back to LSU, that way I could come back to the state, but still got time to think about it.
I was thinking that since I'm playing sports and you know I like sports, I wanted to see if some college give me a athletic scholarship, and also with the ACT results, I want to see if they another scholarship for academics or something. So I want to do an engineering. So I don't know. That it depends.
I'd like to become a doctor when I grow, when I get older, and when I get older, and I already planned which university I will take in Switzerland, so I think I can visit.
I thought about studying in the US, but now I'm thinking more about studying in American university in Europe, so I can get 2 diplomas, American and European, and in future I want to be an ambassador.
I want to be a doctor too, and like my parents, and I will come back to Brazil, go to college over there, and I think about doing my residency here. Yeah, I want. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Okay. Ms. Acevedo?
Hi, I just want to let y'all know the greatest opportunity I've had in my life was I had over a dozen students stay with me over the last 25 years. And it was the greatest opportunity that I ever had. And quite a few of them come back to United States to continue their studies. And most of them I stay in still contact with to today. And they come here in Chalmette any chance they get, they'll come stay. And the first thing they want to do when they get to down here is not go to the French Quarter. They want to go see Miss Munt and Mr. Warner. That is their second parents, and they are a passion for exchange students, right?
Absolutely.
So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Acevedo. Any other board members? Superintendent Boche, you?
No, I just want to echo our welcome. We're so happy to have you with us, and we're honored that you are here in Chalmette. And I know that our students have had great experiences with you, as you have with them. And you can consider this your second home as well. So as Ms. Acevedo said, anytime you're around in the area, you know you're always welcome back at Chalmette High School. And that'll be your home, or your second home forever. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, and it's been a pleasure. Each of you come around the horseshoe, and we'll present you a gift from the school board and all the St. Bernard Parish schools. There you go. Okay. Cupcakes. Dimitri, you did well. So good to have you. Believe you.
We'll do the band first.
Yeah, we do the band, and then we'll have pictures. Thank Mr. Warner and Miss Munt for bringing him with us to visit with us, and that was great. We appreciate that. At this time, I'll recognize the director of the band, Mr. Jason Rusk, and he will introduce the band concert members and say whatever he wants to say about what happened of why they're here.
Thank you all very much. I'd like to start out by taking this opportunity to thank you for your continued support of our band program at Chalmette High School. Now, our marching band, we have the parking lot behind our cultural arts building, which we sort of turned into a football field if you've been there lately. Sorry about all the markings. But that enabled us to enter back into our annual marching band festival this first semester, where they scored the top ratings possible, superior or 1 rating at Marching Band Festival. So thank you so much for that. And also for that wonderful facility over there in our campus we call the Cultural Arts Building. A couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to host the LMEA Large Ensemble Festival, where 21 different bands came through our facility and used our theater to perform. And I have to tell you, as soon as they stepped foot into the building, you can see the amazement on the students and the teachers alike. When they stepped onto our stage, they were picking up their jaws off the floor. It was just, and it was great to see that. So it was great to have that facility for all the surrounding communities and schools to come and see what we have here. I think that really did a great thing for our school there. So thank you so much for all of that. Thank you very much. As you know, our students, they're very busy, our band students. Just since January, I was actually going over our calendar the other day, and just since January, they've had 28 different performances. That's 28 times that they've represented Chalmette High School, that they've represented St. Bernard Parish. And it's just amazing how much, we haven't even finished our year yet, and we still have at least 12 or 13 more performances to go. They give up a lot of their time, a lot of their free time, and they have dedicated themselves to making our band better, to making our school better, and to making our entire school district and parish better. So they certainly deserve all the recognition that they can possibly get. And on behalf of the band, I'd like to thank you for giving us the honor to be here tonight, to be recognized by the leaders of our school system. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thanks so much for your dedication and hard work in making them what they are. So at this time, if you would introduce them, and they'll come around and get a proclamation. They'll come around and greet each board member.
Yes, sir.
And this is the procedure. Did you have anything?
All right, our band members in attendance tonight, when you hear your name, please walk up here and come get your certificate, please. Ashley Alfonso.
Great job.
Joshua Anderson. He's stuck. Alexandra Kavanagh. Jonathan Cucci. Chase Dembrin.
And our intro major up there.
Giovanna Espinosa. Jared Florane.
Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you.
Chris Hamill. Mesa Hussein. Kenneth Irvin. Jesse Kindler. Gregory Gonzalez Landry. Michael Landry. Jenna Neal. Christian Rabelais. Brandon Rodriguez. Whitney Simon. Jack Stogner. Blake Thomas. Harriana Tyler. And Renee Vasquez.
And I would just like to say, Mr. Rusk is an incredible musician himself and a wonderful teacher, and has just done an incredible job with the students, the band, all the different performances that we have. And everywhere that I go within the community and even outside of St. Bernard Parish, everybody says, well, can the jazz band come play for this? Or can we get the marching band over here to open this up? And because it's every time they perform, they really think that it is a professional group coming to perform for them. So, Mr. Rusk, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate you, all the work that you do, and the talent that you just pull out of these young people who I know love music and are motivated. But if they didn't have you, I'm sure they would not be as far along as they are today. So we appreciate your efforts, and parents, we appreciate your sending your children to us, and we know that these kinds of activities just make them such a well-rounded person, and these are the kinds of things and the good activities that our kids need to be involved in. So we appreciate you and your efforts, Jason.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Ms. Dyson.
Just echo what Ms. Voce said. Mr. Rusk, you do an incredible job. You're very dedicated. We know you spend many, many hours with the students. So our congratulations and our thanks to you. To all the students, congratulations to y'all for representing St. Bernard Parish and Chalmette High School. As Ms. Voce said, it's always a pleasure to see you perform wherever you are representing Chalmette High. And to the parents, congratulations to you also. And the old saying goes, practice makes perfect, and you have done so. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yeah. We will get you a proclamation.
Okay.
Yeah. We will say, yeah, that was an oversight, but you will be proclamated for all you do. And let you know that we appreciate what you've done. Yeah, what we're going to do at this time is recess and have a little picture taken, probably about 5 minutes. And we want to thank all of you for being in attendance. Thank you very much for your support for St. Bernard Parish Schools. The students are what it's all about, and they're the important ones. And thank for everyone that supports them in all their endeavors. And you're the man.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we stand adjourned. Okay, stand on recess. We'll return from recess, and before we go on with Mr. Albert Carey on the agenda item, we'll take a point of personal privilege and recognize Ms. Dysart at this time. Ms. Dysart.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft, and I should have said this before. I'm glad Mr. Warner's still in our audience, but yesterday there was a large group from the National School Boards Association convention. There were probably about 30, 35 school board members from across the country who asked to come visit Chalmette High School, and Mr. Warner was very gracious and gave them a tour, and Miss Larson spoke to them also, and they were so impressed with our facilities, but also with all of our programs that we offer to our students. And again, all of these school board members were throughout the country, and it was very good, and meeting them and them to think so highly of Chalmette High School and St. Bernard Parish school system. So thanks to Mr. Warner, Ms. Larson, and just to let the other board members know how much they appreciated being here and learning about Chalmette High and St. Bernard Parish. And just and just knowing about the story about Katrina, and how we came back from being totally devastated to rebuilding all of our schools. And they were so, as Mr. Russ said, some of the students and the teachers who came to the LMEA festival, their jaws dropped. Well, I think some of these school board members' jaws dropped too when they saw how wonderful our school system is, and how great our facilities are now. So Thank you very much, Dr. Kraft. I just
Thank
wanted to
you.
share that with board
Thank you
members.
for sharing. In addition, the band, they were great hosts for this occasion of the Louisiana Music Education Association. And the bands that came in, some of them forgot the sheet music, so our members of Chalmette High Band took and made music for them where they could perform. Also, some of them forgot instruments. They furnished instruments for them to play. So, and this was a new experience, I believe, coming having that many different bands come in and perform. So we're proud of them being so gracious to the visiting schools. And Mr. Warner, I know you're proud of them, and you do a great job over there with the assistant, Ms. Munt. So we're proud of that. And the National School Boards Association, that group, now they paid to do that. In other words, you have registration, and if you go to an on-site visit like they did, that's about $140 extra for those people. So they were really happy to be out here. And as I told them in welcoming them there, I told them, I said, now you chose St. Bernard Parish School System Cultural Arts above Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
yeah, he was a speaker during this time at a general session. So so they did enjoy it, and of course we'll be able to get some compliments from all over the nation there, because it was over 6,000 attendees of board members from around the United States, and also the Virgin Islands and Canada were there at this convention, which was held downtown in the convention center. That's a big place to have to walk there, Mr. Warner. I said several times, I wish Mr. Warner was walking instead of me. My knees are hurting. So it was a grand occasion. So at this time, we will welcome Mr. Carey, Mr. Albert Carey, to stand to go over an update on the construction of our facilities.
Good evening.
Appreciate you, Mr. Carey.
We're going to start with Chalmette High School. Here is the new, you can see the work now in the final phase of construction. This is the new administration and hallway system on the Judge Perez side. You see the two big high boxy areas. When they're connected, Chalmette High School will have an interior walkway now system where you never have to go outside to get from all of the academic buildings one to the other. It'll all be enclosed after that happens. The building to the left, the little one-story, that's part of the new administration, and that will connect with the vaults. So the vaults will still be the character of Chalmette High School, but it will be it will have additional structures connected to it. You can see it from the side. This is looking at that hallway system that's going to connect all of the floors of Chalmette High School. They'll all be interconnected at that point. Is the new facade, the glass and aluminum facade that's going to be around the entire school. You can see the administration under construction, and the bigger building behind is the new band shop building with 9 classrooms on the second floor. This is the shop building on the interior. It still has some more walls to be put up, but this is the shop itself. And then we walk down Palmisano, and then you can see the facade on Palmisano is underway now. And then this is the band building, the band room. And there'll be lockers and storage rooms and all built into that. And then this is 4 inches of insulation. One of the many systems we have to make sure that the sound is contained in both the band and the shop so it doesn't travel upstairs to the second floor. This is the second floor of that building. Here's the hallway, and there'll be 9 classrooms off of that hallway. So it's in pretty good shape right now. This is one of the typical classrooms on that second floor. It'll look like all the other ones we've done in the other building. Please stop me at any time if you want to have questions or anything. This is looking out of that hallway across the into the new hallway that is being constructed, and you can see the sloped roof of the new administration building. And then a courtyard now is created between the existing building and the new band shop building. Here's the Palmisano Street entrance now, which is now the temporary main entrance to the school. But the building on the right is the new band entrance. This is inside that connecting link. You can see the elevator to the left. It's in use now. And the terrazzo. Here's our logo in the floor. Here's the cafeteria, pretty well complete now. You can't really see it, but on the back wall, the far wall, they have the guidelines for the big television screen that's going up back there. It's going to be one of these large, it's like I think it's 6 screens put together to make one big screen. Here we're in the cafeteria courtyard. This, the existing community college building is on the right, and the new cafeteria is on the left, and this leads out into what will be the parking lot for the students. So all the students who bring their cars will walk through this and enter the Palmisano Street entranceway. And that's the entrance into that connecting link. Because there'll be landscaping and all in there. There is a sprinkler system and all, so that when you put the landscaping in, it will keep it going. So this is the second floor connecting link, and this shows you going to the classrooms that are already in use, and the windows look out onto Palmisano Street. And this is looking, in the other direction, in what will be the classrooms above the band and shop building. When they're complete, it will look just like the other side. One will lead into the other. The restrooms up here are in use already. This was the math area. It's now torn apart, and this will be the location of the new digital library and 5 additional classrooms. That's looking at what will be the studio, the new TV studio, when it's all done. On one side of the hallway is the TV studio, and the other side of the hallway is the new digital library. This is one of the new terrazzo. We put terrazzo in the existing second floor hallways. We got rid of the tile and put terrazzo down. This is second floor of the existing building. This will be one of the new science labs. So we're adding 2 science labs and a computer lab on that second floor. This is a renovated old classroom, a classroom in the original building, and this is how it looks renovated. You can see we added that entire wall of storage to every classroom now with bookshelving and locked cabinet doors. That's the hallway wall, and then this is the window wall with the row of computer desks. All the new light fixtures, the new air conditioning systems and all. This is the new, in special ed, this is the new kitchen wall. That room now has its own kitchen with refrigerator and stove, and the door all the way to the left leads into their own toilet room area. They had to go out in the hall before. Now it's completely within the room itself of special ed. And it has all the handicapped accessibility materials in it. And it also has that computer table running along the outside wall. This used to be the stage and then the old weight room. Now it's the aerobics room. You can see the wall of mirrors, and well, you can do aerobics in there now. It's all air conditioned. We have a lowered ceiling, and it's really a nice space. This is also a new hallway that we added on the side of the gym to connect the old gym with the new gym. And the space that was left will be another small weight room with the glass walls. So you'll not have to go outside to get from one gym to the other. Just this leads into the new gym that was added with the football field house. Okay, well, that's Chalmette High School. Any questions on Chalmette High School?
Mr. Carey, when's going to be
November.
November?
Yeah.
The main entrance is going to be on Palmer.
No, the main entrance will go back to being on Judge Perez. Right now, it's on Palmisano while they completely redo the whole front. But you'll now enter a secure entrance on Judge Perez, and you won't be able to get through the rest of the building without checking in with the office first. You have to go into the new foyer and go into the office before you can go anywhere else in the building. But it'll be a secure entranceway. And they'll have an atrium in it and everything. It will be a nice big space when it's all done. So Raleigh, we don't have much pictures on Raleigh. As you know, it's strictly removing the brick and putting the brick back. So this is the wall facing St. Bernard Highway, and they've taken most of the brick down and they're putting the brick back. The windows, the new windows have come in. So, I mean, there's not much really to see because it's all being protected with visqueen, so no air can get, I mean, we don't have any water or anything getting into it, but it's really moving along pretty good. They have the cafeteria already finished, and they're now working on that one, and they'll just continue on around. And we move the students around as we move the one section of the building to the next, so the students are never in here while this is going on.
What about the roof?
The roof is okay. It's all been checked out, and the roof is okay. So, I mean, again, there's not much to photograph on this because it's just brick replacing the brick. But it's all being weather sealed. I mean, they're really doing a good job of sealing this building against any more leakage into it.
Yeah, Mr. Carey, will the bricks be replaced all around
The entire
facility?
school, yes.
The entire school.
All of it gets new brick. It's going to match pretty much what was there,
Well, that's
but
good. Yeah.
but it's all new brick, all new sheathing, which was a problem before. It's all new sheathing. It's all been taped and sealed and everything as they go around. And any repairs that we found to the steel studs are being fixed as we go along.
There's one or two classrooms had a little mildew in.
Right.
That you take care of.
Once this is done, that will all be sealed, and we're going to remediate any signs of mildew in that building.
Mr. Carey, the land area to the side of theirs, is that, do we own that land? No. Okay.
We only own to that, you can see a fence running along the side.
Okay.
And how long do they expect to take?
This will be finished by the start of school. Okay, now we're at MoMA Center. So since the last presentation I did, all the windows are now in around, all the new windows are in. The new doors will be arriving shortly. All of the roof work is done, all the new tile is finished. This is the side of the building, Royal Street side. That steel structure you see is the garden structure. It will have storage for the garden materials, and it will also have the sun path. That'll be something special that's being designed for this building. To the right, you see the connecting to the new cafeteria, but you can see all the windows are in place now. This is one of the architects who designed this particular structure. There'll be a hole in the roof, and there's a pattern in terrazzo on the ground, on the floor of this. And the sun, you will be able to tell day by day the track of the sun as it makes its way around every day of the year is marked on the floor, so the students will be able to see the sun moving around this structure. This is LeBeau Street. I just took this to show you that they've made the final connections to sewer and water and gas, and they're putting the street back. The street's back already, but when this picture was taken, they were just ready to pave the final piece of the street. And you can see the cafeteria on the left. So this is the cafeteria. All the brickwork is up. A lot of the steel is done. They're putting in the glass now. That's the last thing to go in, is the glass. And as we move down LeBeau, you can see the planetarium. They're starting to put the steel paneling, stainless steel paneling up on the planetarium. And that structure in front of it is the covered walkway. You can see the covered walkway. The buses will pull in and discharge the students undercover to get into the lobby and the planetarium. So you can see the walkway alongside the building leading to the new entranceway. This is the new entrance into the building itself. It will be through the arches. Those will be glazed, and there'll be glass doors in there. And the structure in front is the new glass canopy that will protect everyone from going in. There we go. Sorry. There we go. All right. This is you can see the planetarium. It's hard to see because everything's painted black or dark blue, but you can see the planetarium and the step platforms. They're still finishing up the mechanical system, but that will be finished shortly. The roof is finished, and there's going to be a big dome inside that space.
What's the seating capacity?
72.
70?
Yeah. But it's those big seats, you know, the kind that you can go back on and all. And then the bottom picture on the right is the hallway, the second floor lobby hallway. This is a mechanical system. You can see a building like this requires a great deal of air conditioning, boilers, and electrical. I just wanted to show you what the mechanical room looks like. It's pretty complicated and it's all been designed for quiet running of equipment. All that stuff is on springs and all, so there's no vibration in the building. This is from the second floor looking into the cafeteria. This is in the old auditorium, the stage. Last time we showed you this, all that front wall was gone. Now it's all back with plaster, and they're moving along pretty good on that. This is looking back from the stage, and the three windows you see are the new light and sound booths on the second level. And then that recess underneath it is where all the seats will stack when you press a button, and all the seats will fold up and go back into that niche. So you can use the room as a big space in addition to the seating. Here you see the first patterns of the ceiling. Remember the painted ceiling that was there before? Well, it's going to be restored. The one on the left is the one we chose with all the texture to make it look like the ceiling that was there before, and the rest is going to be stenciled on just like the original ceiling was. That's just a sample pattern for color. And that black pipe you see is really part of the lighting system for the stage lights. All that faces the stage, and they'll hang lights on that for the stage. And we're in the cafeteria again. It's really going to be a beautiful space. You can see they've gotten the cooler freezer in place, and the back door leads out to the service yard. And I'm ending this with a guy named Zach Sloan, who is a 2011 graduate of Chalmette High School. And he's worked on several of our projects with Gibbs, and he's really working his way up in the Gibbs Construction Company. They hired him at one of the job fairs at Chalmette High School. So that's what I have. Any questions about
What's
Momus?
the completion date on this one?
It'll be at the end of summer also.
Christmas.
I'm always optimistic. Ms. Roach never believes me, but anyway. This summer. This summer, yeah.
This summer and
Christmas. You know, it's somewhere in between.
And somewhere between, yeah.
split difference Halloween.
Okay.
Could we, when y'all are finished discussing this, could we move item number 15 up while Mr. Carey's here, because he's going over to the Cultural Arts Center with the kids, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll make a motion that we move item 15 up, please.
Right. Second, Mr. Campbell. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This is permission to bid, put out for bid the Joseph Davies paving repairs. The drawings are finished and it's going out to bid. The bids are going to be due May 12th, so we'll be able to start the paving right as school ends, and it'll be we giving them 60 days to do it, so they'll have it finished before the start of school. This is the FEMA work that they said we could rebuild the front, half of the front driveway, some of the parking lot, and we're going to fix that entranceway where it's sunk and you have a little tripping area as you enter Joe Davies. That's all going to be repaired in this.
So you just need a permission to bid.
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. England made a motion to grant this item, second by Mr. Sark. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we'll move to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett.
And could I just make one comment on that? Since the bids are going to be opened on May 12th, and we really want to start that this summer, over the summer, at the committee meeting, I think it's May 13th.
13th.
The next day, which is normally a committee meeting, we want to do a special meeting right before the committee meeting just to approve and award the contract, so they don't have to wait another 2 weeks or so to get started. Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. At this time, moving the agenda, we have Mr. Wayne Burgess with us, also Ms. Lauren Fowles, so you're on.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We appreciate y'all having us here now. I know y'all have been busy. I will say this, with everything, sure, not just yet, with everything that's going on, like at Chalmette High School, I gotta tell y'all guys this. Mr. Warner and Miss Munn make that place work. You know, I mean, there's fires going on and off all day long, and they keep their composure and they make it work. It's such a privilege and a pleasure to work with people like that. And the kids love them, and I just think they do a great job. But what we're going to show you all tonight is a little bit about something we're going to be doing at Dockville coming up in May. Now, I gave you just a little overview of what we've been doing all year in 4-H. It's just for you to look at when you have a chance, as well as that thing on 4-H that we put in front of you, the annual report. This is a state report. But mainly what we wanted to do tonight was to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Chris has taken a bunch of pictures. We went up to Baton Rouge last year to take a look at it. Ag Magic is something that the LSU
Excuse me a
Ag Center
minute, Ms.
does.
Burge. Why don't you introduce Chris and Bill?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just so they would know all, we would know all the players.
Oh, okay. This is Chris Haynes and Bill Haynes, and you know my coworker Lauren Faust.
Okay.
I apologize.
No.
But the Ag Center started doing Ag Magic in Baton Rouge about 12 years ago. And they moved it up into the northern part of the state maybe about 5 years ago, and they were asking for a component in the southern part of the state. Basically what they're hitting is a lot of urban areas. And so, you know, we were at a point where they were looking at different locations, and one day Lauren just said to me, says, well, you asked Bill and Chris, and I went, no, not really. So
perfect location.
I stopped by and I talked to them, and they were like, oh yeah, we'd love to do that, because it's part of what they want to do anyway. So it really tied in great with what they want to do. So we went up to Baton Rouge and took some pictures to show you guys what the kids will be doing when they come to Ag Magic, because basically it's about agriculture. So you're looking at like 5 different disciplines. You've got entomology, you've got horticulture, you've got the seafood industry, you got forestry, you just got like turf grasses and things like that. So what will happen is the kids will go through stations. So we'll start at one barn, go to another barn, go to another barn, and they'll come out. And I don't know if you noticed it or not, but they actually put in a crawfish pond. If you see where all the guys park their construction work, okay, all the trucks for construction, right next to that there's a little narrow strip. And what that is, that's going to be an educational crawfish pond to show kids how they collect crawfish. They actually, last week, or this coming week, they're putting the crawfish in there. Okay.
They tried to Friday, too much rain.
Okay. So the kids should have an opportunity to see that as well. And then what they'll do is they'll conclude by going next, right in back of that, they just built some bedding plants, or I mean a bedding area where the vegetables will go. And then they can see the vegetables, and in their tour, I want to say they'll be going into the new facility, and they'll take them up to the top floor and let them look out across the Mississippi River. So it'll really be a neat experience for the kids. So anyway, it'll be kids from St. John to St. Bernard.
Yeah, it's a joint effort with the surrounding parishes. We couldn't put it on by ourselves, just our office in St. Bernard, but it's Orleans, Jefferson, St. Bernard, Plaquemines, St. John, and St. Charles parishes, where we've invited schools to participate in field trips. In St. Bernard, all of the elementary schools will have an opportunity to tour. We've already set up their tour groups for the weekdays, Wednesday, May 14th through the 16th.
And this year is the inception of it. There'll be something that will continue. This year it goes from Wednesday to Saturday. The one they do in Baton Rouge goes from Monday to Sunday. Okay? And they have a cutoff limit of 1,700 kids a day. And what happens is on the weekend, that's where the kids that have gone through there bring their parents and their grandparents and people like that back
open to the public,
so that they can show them. So we're hoping that, that'll be something where people that live in other parishes may come in on a Saturday and a Sunday once we get, more established. And they'll see St. Bernard that maybe they never had a reason to go there before.
So we're doing guided field trips Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then open to the public on Saturday. So hopefully they'll bring some people back with them.
Yeah. Let them see what St. Bernard's got.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Chris is going to show you we went up there last year and just took a bunch of photographs.
Ready?
So he's just going to roll through some of those just to show you what some of the displays look like. And it'll be pretty quick because I know y'all are time limited.
They run about 19,000 people through that week.
No, not that many.
It's about,
Well, the
it's
Saturday
about,
and Sunday had a lot.
Yeah.
But I think so far, Beth Gamble with LSU was saying that I think we have 1,800 kids signed up.
Pretty much 1,800.
I think we have capacity for
21?
2,100. So we're pretty close to getting full, and then we're just trying to really make it available to the public for while it's set up to just come and check it out, and then get a sneak peek of the new building and the observation tower. We're going to talk a little bit about restoration and conservation and
right.
So
We'll
all
have
the
wetlands.
displays we're borrowing from Baton Rouge and bringing them down and setting them up in the wetlands.
And we'll have, what you're looking at there, we'll pretty much mirror what they've got, maybe on a smaller scale. But like for instance, back where their current stable is, we will have a little petting zoo area where we'll have, a lot of animals for the kids to see. And basically they come through, it takes them about an hour to go through it. And the tours, we're still working on getting volunteers to help with it. It takes about 50 volunteers a day to put everybody through there and do it in a manner where, each group is being led by somebody.
Yeah. Each group should have a tour guide, and then we also have people that have to run the activities, whether it's digging for worms or...
Lauren, if you come closer
Oh.
to the mic so people can hear.
Okay. So yeah, 50 people a day to either serve as tour guides for the groups or to be activity hosts, which would be, giving information out at one of those educational stops along the way. So we've been recruiting volunteers. We have a little flyer here. We have a website where people can go up and sign up for a shift. We have half-a-day shifts or all-day shifts where people can sign up. We've been making the rounds to all the groups in St. Bernard. We got support from agribusiness, USDA, the Master Gardeners Association in Orleans Parish. So we're trying to get the word out across the metro area and get enough volunteers for that day. I think Mr. Warner is going to help us out with some students from Shellman High School also. Have the opportunity to come out. They did such a great job at Christmas and Christmas, the tour of homes. So.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, and basically that's what we just wanted y'all to see. Y'all have an opportunity. It will be the 14th through the 16th. Will be the school field days. So if y'all get a chance, just come by and take a look at it.
What age group of students are y'all targeting, or children
Mainly
that you're
third
targeting?
grade through 5th grade.
3rd through 5th,
Yes, ma'am.
primarily? Okay.
But upper grades can volunteer.
Yeah. High school up can volunteer.
'Cause we did that Earth Day out there, and that was really neat how the older kids hosted and brought all the younger kids through. That was really neat. They're coming back. Yep.
I'm really excited, Bill and Chris, all the things that are happening at Dockville from an educational perspective and just all the activity there. And as we focus on the kids in projects like that, obviously with, the LSU Extension Center as well, I'm just thrilled. And I know there's more in the works. And I know the plans that you have to continue to develop that as well as other areas. And we're just really excited and thrilled and thankful that that's occurring right here in St. Bernard and that our kids have such an opportunity for these kinds of experiences. So thank y'all very much.
That. You guys are good partners to have.
Well, y'all are wonderful.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, and on that note, we couldn't do our jobs without y'all's support.
Well,
I mean, it wouldn't be physically possible. So we appreciate that so much.
It's happening for the students, and that's the important part. That's the focus we always want to
Yes, sir.
maintain. And we appreciate you presenting this to us, and whatever we can do, we'll certainly be gladly to do so.
We appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Let's see, Bill, Chris, and Wayne, and Lauren. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. We have Ms. Aceveda.
Yes, I'd like to ask you, May 17th, it's open to the public.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there going to be a fee? Are you able to buy tickets or is it
All
free
free.
entry?
Free.
Okay.
That's a good price. Anyone else? School board member? Thank you. Thank you so much.
14?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Wait,
Ms.
wait.
Dyson,
I
before you
just
leave.
want to say thanks to all of you for promoting this project in St. Bernard Parish. That's a wonderful thing. To showcase our parish is always good to outsiders, but also to do so much goodwill for our students also. And the 4-H program in the Ag Center has been wonderful. Y'all have done a great job, and thank y'all for all of your hard work too. And thank you to the partnership too. We appreciate it.
The
And
Ag
for letting us
Center's-
use Dockville too.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
The Ag Center's really excited about it, to have it in a rural setting instead of the old basketball gym, too. So.
That'd be great.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. Next item, Ms. Dysart, is an education item. You're the chair.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft.
You're welcome.
Okay, first, education items, Head Start, the continuation application, and an update. Good evening, Dr. Ravioli.
Good evening. Well, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come before you tonight. I've come to present and seek your approval for our Head Start continuation application for the 2014-2015 school year. Our Policy Council will be meeting this Thursday to also review the application. Ms. Nicole Bailey is our president, and Mr. Warner is our school board representative on the Policy Council. They, along with parent representatives from each of our Head Start classrooms and community representatives, will also consider the application for approval. You have a set of handouts in front of you labeled item number 7, which includes the key parts of the grant. Before going through the handout, I want to mention that thankfully the federal government has restored the 5.2% reduction in funds due to sequestration. So they've restored that money, which amounts to $42,424. They've also provided a 1.3% cost of living increase, which amounts to $10,465. For the 2014 and 15 school year, we'll again devote all our funding toward preserving our universal pre-K program for 4-year-olds. Just as a reminder to you, in order to fund our preschool program, we use LA4 monies, Title I dollars, HE money, the Education Excellence Fund dollars, IDEA money, and Head Start and local dollars to support the universal preschool program that we have in effect. So now, speaking directly about the Head Start application, you can take a look at the packet. We're funded to serve 112 students, the same as last year. The federal contribution from Head Start is $830,689. The figure represents a $10,465 increase compared to last year's original funding and a $52,889 increase over the sequestration totals. $15,221 of the total must be obligated for training and technical assistance, and the remaining dollars go towards salaries, benefits, supplies, child liability insurance, and the like. As you notice on the next few pages, we go through the line items with the budget categories, and then after the budget pages, I've attached our program narrative, which is broken down into the various sections required by the federal government. The needs, the objectives, benefits, and approaches used by our program are described. You'll also see the budget breakdowns talked about in a little more detail for each of the budget categories. At the end of the narrative, you'll see the breakdown of our school system's in-kind contributions, which amount to 25%, which is required by the federal government. Be happy to address any questions that you might have regarding the Head Start application, and trust that we'll receive your approval.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? Mr. Warner?
I'll make a motion that we move this to the full board with a recommendation.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Warner. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Kraft. Any other discussion or questions? There being none, please cast your votes.
Ms. Acevedo? Yeah, you got all 3 buttons on?
One more.
One more. Okay, motion passes 10-0.
I was a little nervous.
That was a little. Okay. Hey, well, it just happens that way.
Just to update
thank
you on
you.
a couple of other items before I close, I'd like to report on the results. We received the results of our federal monitoring that was held in December. The team of reviewers came in to observe all aspects of our Head Start program, spent about a week with us. As a result of their 5-day review, we were found to be compliant in 80 areas and non-compliant in 2. And I've given you a copy of our corrective action plan addressing those 2 items. We've already sent the plan to the Dallas Regional Office, which is required within the 120 days after receiving the report. If you take a look at that report, it's on the next couple of pages there. Item 1 deals with our reporting of our monthly financial statements to you, the members of the governing body. In the past, as long as I've been the director, and I think this was the policy before, we've always provided the sitting member of the policy council, or the sitting member of the school board who's on our policy council, with a copy of the financial report. And Mr. Campbell, Mr. Warner, Mr. Nicosia, everybody who's been. I think Diana was on before, and Dr. Kraft, Mr. England. We've had those people on our policy council. We've always provided the policy council member, the board member on the policy council with that financial report, and never been cited for it. Well, this time they said that they wanted each member of the governing body, the school board members, to receive a copy of that financial report. So we've started that practice with this board newsletter, and so that's why you received it with the newsletter, and we'll continue that for those months that we're in session. So that was the first item, and then the second was an item dealing with exit signs to the inside hallways at Smith. We have exit signs to the outside playground, and we had the exit signs over, I think, one of the classroom doors at Smith to the inside hallway, but they wanted us to have it over both doorways. So we immediately corrected it, but they still cite you for it. The second item, we have, you're required to have covered garbage cans in the classrooms. At Smith, we had our covered garbage can, but they also had an open garbage can, and took issue with that. So we took care of those problems back in December when it was pointed out. So both those things were corrected, and that really takes care of our corrective action plan.
And let me just interject something.
Yeah.
They came to see our Head Start program, which was absolutely wonderful and great from a curriculum aspect, and the everything that we provide for the students was wonderful. So of these hundreds of little indicators, there was an exit sign not on one of the doorways leading into the hallway. We had them on the outside now. And then one teacher had her covered garbage can, but she happened to bring in a second one from someplace that wasn't covered, and we got cited for that. So that's our corrective.
Those are-
I mean,
yeah.
that's what we got cited for. But the program itself had accolades for what we did. and what we did.
One member of the review team also conducted classroom observations as part of the evaluation of our educational program, and pleased to report in those three areas targeted by the class observation: emotional support, classroom organization, instructional support. Our Head Start teachers scored above the national average in all three of those components. So, if you have any questions about the federal monitoring, I'd be happy to discuss those.
Are there any questions?
Okay, and the last handout that I gave you is a copy of our most recent data report regarding the progress of our Head Start students from the fall assessment, which is conducted usually, we give them a couple of weeks to come into school, so it's toward the last 2 weeks of September, and then we do our midterm, our winter assessments in the month of January. And so if you look at that, you'll notice that we've made steady progress in all 7 components listed. We'll conduct the end of the year assessments toward the end of this month and the beginning of May. And those results that we see, and of course they really are real, high. Our kids are progressing. We use those results, and of course you can rank them. Our lowest score was in math at 70%, and that's mid-year. So we still have a ways to go, but it's been significant growth from the beginning of the year, all the way up. We have physical, fine motor, gross motor in the 98, 99 percentile rank. So we're seeing tremendous growth for our kids. We always talk about how well we're doing at the, LEAP standardized test scoring areas, and we kind of feel like, that early start that we're giving our 4-year-olds, these areas are kind of taken care of. We're not waiting till kindergarten to have to take care of those things. They can hit the ground running at kindergarten. So we use the results that we get to address any individual classroom issues and also program issues. So you'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have for that.
Okay, are there any questions?
Okay.
I don't think. Dr.
Well,
Raviota, thank you. And
yeah.
if I recall, the exit meeting for the monitoring back in December was
Well, it was a meeting that you all sat in with.
that we went. Yes,
yeah.
they were highly complimentary of our Head Start program, and as Ms. Foche said, the minor infraction of the open garbage can, is very minor, but they were highly complimentary, and we're very pleased with our program. And so,
Well, thank you.
Our commendation to you and all of your staff members who do an excellent job.
Before I leave, I want to make sure publicly thank Ms. Siebert and our management team, the teachers, the paraprofessionals that are responsible for the high quality program that we have. So, and thanks to you all for your support.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, next item on the agenda is the discussion of the 2013-2014 pupil progression plan. Good evening, Ms. Halton.
Good evening. I am here, and I'll be back here at your May meeting after a committee meets to decide on what we have to do with this. But I presented in your packet what we received from the state for our grade 4 promotion guidelines. We have not received the 8th grade yet, but Mary Lemetta is with me, and as soon as we receive them, we will start working on both of these items, but we have to get a committee of people together, but I want to explain it to you, okay? On the first page, you're going to notice that they talk about retention and what are the detriment, how harmful it is to retain kids, and you can see on the statistics on the graph that it shows that since we started standardized testing and we did these tests in Louisiana, look how the 4th grade ELA and math scores have risen through the years. But then in the little box, it tells you that if a child enters a 9th grade at the age of 14, he has an 86% chance of graduating. If he enters at 15, he has a 51% chance of graduating, and all the way down. So you certainly don't want to keep retaining kids, because that's not the answer. So we received guidelines from the state that local school systems have to decide upon their promotional policies this year, and we have to amend our pupil progression plan, which we will do after our committee meets. But the non-negotiable part of this is if a child fails, if a child does not get the approaching basic combination on LEAP, which means they have to get approaching basic in ELA and math, or vice versa, math and ELA, they have to attend summer skills. That's a non-negotiable part of this whole plan. So, with that being said, when the test scores come back, we have to take into consideration what our parish wants to do. Test scores come back on the summer test, okay? I'm talking the summer test now, because they have to come, if they don't pass and get that combination, they have to attend summer skills. And after summer skills, and the results come in, then as a parish, that's what Mary and I will have to do with a committee of people to decide what our policy is going to be. And if you notice on page 2, we need to update our pupil progression plan, but we can't do so until the Bessie Board meets on April 30 days after. It has to be done 30 days after the Bessie Board meets on April 20th, okay? And like I said, we haven't even received the 8th grade guidelines yet. And then I have to come back to you, and you have to approve the whatever we decide to do for promotional policies. Now, at the bottom of page 2, they give us guidance for making decisions about individual students. And the first thing says, after the summer test, after the summer retake, how are we going to identify our non-proficient students? Then, of the students who are identified as non-proficient, who will be promoted and who will be retained? And the third guideline is, what supports will you provide to students who are promoted and retained to ensure that they are on track for the next year? So we have to provide guidance and help for them the following year in school. So if you look at page 3, the first question is, how will you identify your non-proficient students? And if you see, we can identify them, and a non-proficient student is somebody who doesn't achieve the passing grade on LEAP. So we can identify these students by looking at different things about this student. We can look at his Lexile level, for example. How is he reading according to the Lexile levels that are established for each grade level, okay? We can also look at results of our own benchmark assessments that we gave to the kids. We can look at the practice test that we assigned to the kids. We can look at the child and see how much he grew from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. We can look at his course grades, and we can also look at his attendance. So these are guidelines for us to look at to come up with who are these non-proficient students. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, if you look at page 4, the second question is, of the students identified in question 1, who will be promoted and who will be retained? So you go to that, and it says, first you have to determine what the criteria is for successful completion of summer remediation, and you can look at different measures again after the end of summer skills. For example, state-released practice test results, which we did give a practice test to the kids based on what the state had given us, results from assessments on Tier 1 and Tier 3 through the instructional materials review, just the different things that we can do, their growth, their grade assigned by the teacher. You know, we're going to look and see what that teacher's grade was in the class, And that would be another criteria for this. And then you determine what criteria will be utilized to make the promotional decisions. And this will be done as a collaborative effort of parents, teachers, counselors, and administrators after consideration of all the data that we can establish, okay? However, the final recommendation lies with us in the school. So the types of data that we're looking at to make a decision whether he should be promoted or retained could be, but not limited to, whether the student meets the passing standard on LEAP at the end of summer remediation. Of course, if they meet that and his other grades are okay, he will certainly be promoted. Growth from the beginning of summer remediation to the end of summer remediation. The grade that the teacher in summer remediation gives the child for his completion of summer remediation. A reanalysis of the data. The number of subjects in which the student was identified as non-proficient, and qualitative data from parents, teachers, counselors, and administrators. So that's just suggested things we can look at, but we have to come up with our own plan as to how we are going to do this. And on page 5, the next question is, what supports will you provide to students who are promoted and retained? Students identified as non-proficient shall have remediation in the 4th grade subjects where she or he was identified as non-proficient. If we promote that child has to have remediation the following year through either some of the suggested things they have here or things that we come up with. And we could schedule routine meetings with stakeholders. We provide additional instructional minutes in the subject where the student was identified as non-proficient. And most of the time we do that through their cultural arts time with the parent permission. We get the parent in and tell them a child will have to come to the lab and have to do remediation during that time. We will utilize individual computer-based programs if that's what we come up with. Develop an RTI program or a plan, which we already have for all the kids, looking at data. We constantly look at data to analyze what the kids are doing. And then we have to develop a plan to reduce retention rates. They tell us that we need to focus on early literacy to ensure that children are getting effective reading instruction, and we're in the process of looking at the best things to purchase for that goal. Ensure that what Charlie just talked about, that at-risk 4-year-olds are attending high-quality pre-kindergarten programs. Develop and implement an RTI program, and provide supplemental resources. Then on the last page it talks about what do we do for Lot 2 students, for 4th grade Lot 2 students, and it says that the IEP team will determine what will happen with Lot 2 students, but in both 4th grade and 8th grade, we make up the Lot 2 students who do not meet the standards for passing LEAP in 4th and 8th grade attend summer skills along with the other students, and we develop a Parish test that we give them at the end of the summer to determine whether or not those children will be promoted to 5th or 9th grades, because we don't have a statewide retaking of the Lot 2 test in the summertime. It's something that we have to administer. So then we have to look at next year, and next year is very interesting too, because if you look at the first the little boxes at the bottom, students in grade 3 through 8 will take PARCC in ELA and math next year, and the test results likely will not be available until late summer 2015. So if you look at the other side of that box, it says pupil progression plans must include guidance outlining what evidence should be considered in the place of statewide assessment, and LEAs must continue to offer summer remediation to non-proficient students. However, no retest will be available during the summer of 2015 because we're not going to get the results until the late summer of 2015. Okay. So we have then we have to identify non-proficient students because statewide assessment data will not be available until late summer, so we have to establish our own criteria, and then we have to determine what is successful completion of summer remediation. So I'll be back in a month to talk to you guys about, and you ladies, about what our committee has decided we're going to do for our own parish to look at promotion guidelines. And like I told them, Mary, we don't even have 8th grade yet. So I looked today and it wasn't in the newsletter. So
I would assume the 8th grade is going to be
It's
somewhat
very
similar to
It's going to be very
this.
similar to this,
Yeah.
but we wanted to give you a copy of this because we felt like this encompassed what you needed to know and the burning questions that we have to amend our pupil progression plan to answer. Okay?
This is one of the transitional policies that the Bessie Board and State Department have adopted as this transition to Common Core takes place. Because there are gaps in the curriculum and things had not been fully aligned, while LEAP in the 4th and 8th grade had been definitely promotional before, now we're able to issue at our local discretion a waiver to that promotional policy. So if the child doesn't meet the standard, but we feel that since it was the first time this year that the LEAP is more aligned with Common Core and the test is more difficult, that if we feel the child is able to go to 5th grade with some supports and go from 8th to 9th grade with some supports, then we can waive it and promote that child with these additional remediations as they move to the next level. So we've got to amend this year's pupil progression plan because this wasn't in the works last year when we adopted the 13-14 plan. So we have to amend it for this year, and then Ms. Harleton and Ms. Lametta will be back for the 14-15 plan, and that's going to all hinge on if the state proceeds with the park assessments. We'll have to see what happens in the legislature, and if the park assessments will be administered for the first time next spring, and those are fully aligned with Common Core and much more difficult. It will be the first year of implementation of those new park assessments. The reason for the delay in scores in the summer of 2015 is that all of the states in that park consortium, however many stay in it, they'll have to evaluate the results and set cut scores. You know, what will constitute each level of proficiency, if the child will be advanced or they've got different designations now. So the first year, that's why those test results will be back so late next summer. After those are established, then they should be back in the rotation where they'll come to us, hopefully, you know, with more time. So this next 2-year transition is very difficult. It's going to be stressful and difficult not only for our students, our teachers, and our parents, and our community. So this is one thing that the state is doing to put a little bit more control in our local hands to assess if children could be promoted with that instructional support so they're not going to fall so far behind chronologically that we have the potential for dropouts when they really actually could perform the work at the next level.
Okay, are there any questions?
Yes.
Dr. Kraft?
Well, I think we've been talking about all of this at the state level since 2010. So, again, it puts us in a trick box as of our staff by not passing things through the BC Board and the State Department that they'll come down to us in a timely manner. And, of course, they expect us to jump through hoops, but they're not doing things in the manner that they should, and that's totally wrong. It puts us in a bad situation because we want to do what's best for the students, but we won't get the feedback and the instructions on how to do it beforehand. And I appreciate what you're talking about. I know that's very, very difficult, and most of all, stressful and frustrating when you can't get the information.
Rest assured that Ms. Lametta and I will do everything we can in the best interest of the students, because that's our major concern.
That's what I know
That's why we have the
would do.
best staff.
You know, there's
Absolutely,
there's,
because
as hard as it's going to be, we're going to do it, and we'll come up
no
with
matter
something.
what roadblocks put up there, you can go around it and make sure you're focused on the needs of the students, and we appreciate that. That's the way to go.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Anyone else?
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Fata?
statement, Ms. Dyson. Thank you.
Okay,
And
next.
Ms. Halton, before you said that, I was going to say, first I was going to say, good luck, ladies. Bless you, ladies. But if anyone can do it, I know you ladies can.
Well, thank
So we
you.
have full faith in you and that you will work
Be put
through
in such a position.
whatever's thrown at you, and you'll get something designed for our students that will be in their best interest to make sure that they can go on and succeed. So,
Well, thank you.
just a statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Some things never change, huh? The summer test scores coming in late, and,
To
you know,
be honest
everybody's
with you,
kind of...
you know what Ms. Lametta said, Ms. Voce said this year is a difficult test for our students, and, you know, maybe this is a good thing for us to have a little more control this year. But we just have to come up with the correct guidelines, because we want to make sure that we don't want to just promote students blanketly, because some students may not be ready to go on to the next level. So that's what we have to understand here, that they're not all going to just be promoted to the next grade. It's going to have certain guidelines that we're going to follow.
Okay. And who's going to be on the committee?
Probably some principals, and maybe, you know, Ms. Voce, we're going to ask her to maybe sit with us a couple of times, huh, Ms. Voce?
I have veto power.
And then we'll have, you know, we, you know, if one of you guys would like to sit with us, that would be fine. And, you know, if, maybe invite a parent or two to meet with us, just to talk about it. But we can't meet until we get the 8th grade.
So you know what you
And we
have to
can't
meet
meet
about.
until at least after Easter, because April 20th is when the BESI's board's meeting. But we have to have it done within 30 days after that.
So that may be one of those, you know, when we said we were going to have a special meeting on May 13th for the Davies Walkway, we may do it, we may add this to the agenda, because their rule, you know how they have to advertise, the BESI, that rule of, what do you call that?
Notice
The
of intent?
The notice of intent, the rule, whatever, is up on April 20th, and we're supposed to have this amendment adopted within 30 days. And our May meeting isn't until the 27th, so it's beyond the 30 days. So we'll probably try to shoot for putting it on that special meeting agenda on the 13th of May, is what I'm thinking at this point.
Okay, anyone else? Well, thank you, Ms. Halton, thank you, Ms. Lametta, and we appreciate y'all's hard work and staying on top of things as the state continues to make us jump through the hoops. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda are personnel changes.
Thank you, Mr. Dysart. We have with us today Mr. Paul Granberry. And
Good
this-
evening, good evening.
And this item's just for information purposes only. Mr. Granberry?
Information purposes only. Have a few people leaving for next year. But,
Okay. Mr. Dysart?
I just want to recognize the retirees. It's always sad to see some long-term educators leaving us, but Linda Lopez, Carol Perkins, and Marilyn Westfall. We want to thank you for your many years of service to our students and wish you a very happy retirement. You know, it's hard to see you go, but you deserve to retire after so many years, and such a great job. So thank you for the many years of service to each of these retirees. Thank you.
And just piggybacking on that a little bit, Linda Lopez and Carol Perkins are two of our English teachers over at Trist Middle School that do a tremendous job, and like you said, are just fantastic teachers. Marilyn Westfall has just been with us forever and ever and ever, and has been in many capacities in the elementary curriculum area, and has just been unbelievable and a tremendous professional and just a very good person. And she's been working as a Title I coordinator the last several years, many years, and has done just an incredible job. And we're sorely going to miss her here in our central office, and miss her as much for her cheerful personality and just overall goodness, as well as her professionalism in the educational arena. So.
Anyone else? Well, we wish them all well. Thank you, Mr. Granberry.
All right.
Move on to item number
10, that's the flood.
Renewal flood insurance, Mr. Houghton.
Thank you.
Mr. Clemens.
At the renewal of flood insurance, this is the flood insurance from the National Flood Insurance Program. We have, and I think you have a schedule of property in your packet. If you look on the second page, the total amount of flood insurance this year will be $154,331, which is up slightly from last year, $152,991. So we pretty much our coverage pretty much remains the same. Most of our properties, and I think the total number of property is 56. Most of them maxed out on the flood insurance program insurance.
Any questions or
Right here.
comments?
Yeah. My question is this, with the new flood maps, was this make any changes? I know for this year we got to pay, but for next year, do you see any things, Mr. Clemens?
It's really not too bad for the whole parish. I want to say 95% of the parish will be okay. There are some areas, of course, some pockets that have been known to flood in the past that
Yeah.
are going to have to do it. I'm not sure when they're even going to, it might not even be a year before it's done.
Yeah, but for the rates. it's those-
The school boards, well, you know, they've just been having all the laws that have been going on, and they just had some rollbacks of those
Right.
rates. And we're really not going to be affected that much. Even in St. Bernard Parish, it's not going to be too bad,
Okay.
the rest of the parish.
I was just questioning because with the flood wall and that, and they said, you know, we were in good shape. Just wanted to see if the rates would come down a little bit.
Well, this is insurance. I don't
Yeah.
know if the rate's coming down. And it's the federal government insurance.
Well, we're taking a shot anyway. Thank you, gentlemen.
Anyone else? Mr. Warner?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Acevedo. I just find it interesting the way if it's a building, they charge you, no matter what the square footage is, like the field house at Chalmette High School, baseball field house is the same price as the entire campus of the, you know, the main administrative building. I just find that interesting, you know what I mean? It's a,
Because of the maximum values.
right.
That's the whole thing. You know, once they get to that spot, boom, we're done. So, doesn't matter if you got one this way or this way.
One might
They still
cost
stop.
you 10 million to repair, and the other one might cost you 100,000, but
At 500,000,
Right.
see you.
I just find it interesting. I just want to make a comment. Thank you.
Oh, you're right.
Anyone else? Any more discussion? Motion. Renew for the flooding?
I'll make a motion to send it.
I'll second.
Any more discussions? Vote your machine.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 11, discussion regarding breakfast, lunch prices for 2014-2015.
Hello,
Welcome,
good
Ms. Bloom.
evening. Hello. As you know, our federal reimbursement rates in our lunch fund do not cover the cost of running the lunch fund. The school system does subsidize the lunch fund in order for us to operate. In 2010, Congress approved the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, and with that act came new regulations for our lunches and breakfasts. So every year, we are having to put more food and different kinds of food on the plate and still work within that budget. For doing all of that, the first year we got 6 more cents from the federal government, and it cost us approximately 30 more cents for lunch, so we only lost 24 cents. These are the new requirements that are coming into place this year coming, 2014-15. Breakfast requirements are going to increase. The fruit has to be another half a cup of fruit, and it can't be juice. So you can we're giving a half a cup of juice right now, and then the breakfast meal, we have to give an additional half a cup of fruit. Half a cup of fruit fresh costs about 30 cents. A half a cup of canned fruit costs about 24 cents. So that's an increase that we haven't prepared for because of the new regulations. We have to have lower sodium items now because the federal government is decreasing the sodium levels into 2020. So when you see your bids next, you're going to notice that I asked for low sodium vegetables, and I'm asking for we are looking at all low sodium foods that are prepared, because in order to meet those sodium levels that are becoming lower, we have to do it. Milk has 150 milligrams of sodium. That's a natural product from an animal. So if you take that out, you have to give the fluid milk. Then the bread, a functional part of making bread is salt, and so we have sodium. So we're looking at low sodium biscuits, whole grain, everything. I'm just telling you, these are really good. They are nutritionally sound practices, but the fact of the matter is these things cost a lot of money. Whole grain products now, 100%. This year we could give 50% whole grain and 50% enriched wheat flour, the white stuff that you like to eat. Next year, we can't have any enriched wheat flour. Everything's got to be whole grain rich, which means it's got to have 16 grams of whole grain in the product to be the first ingredient.
Expensive.
Yes, ma'am, it is. A loaf of bread, you could buy a loaf of white bread for 99 cents. A loaf of this whole grain bread's costing me $2.09. So that's a difference. Low-fat and non-fat milk, of course, the milk prices have increased. It's 35 cents now. If you look, when you see the milk bid, you're going to see it's 34, 9, 8, whatever, but it's 35 cents. And then, of course, I told you about more fruits and vegetables. So for lunch in high school, we used to give 3/4 of a cup of fruit-vegetable combination. Now we have to give a whole cup of fruit and a whole cup of vegetable, in addition to all the other meal components that we have to give. Middle school, more fruits and vegetables. Elementary school, more fruits and vegetables. And the children have to leave the line with a fruit or a vegetable on the plate. So that's another cost. We do have offer versus serve, but offer versus serve, they can pick 3 things, but one of the 3 things has to be a fruit or a vegetable. And so these are the things that we're dealing with now, and of course they cost more money. If you look at your handout I gave you, the first page is a comparison of public school districts around our area, and Ouachita Parish, of course, is not. But you can see the price differentials between, and then the bottom has the reimbursement rates. Let me explain that to you, because there's free breakfast and there's severe need breakfast. All of our schools have severe need breakfast rates because we have more than 50% free and reduced lunch in our schools for breakfast. The free breakfast cost because the data is collected 2 years before and the school hasn't been open that long, so it probably will get that rate. Reduced breakfast, we also have the reduced breakfast at LaCoste, and the other schools have the severe need. Then our paid students, we get 28 cents for a breakfast. The at-cost price for breakfast last year was $1.94. So we get 28 cents, and then whatever the parents or the child pays for the breakfast. Okay, for free lunch, our reimbursement rates for this year are $2.65 plus the 6 extra cents, and then 30 cents for all lunches. So it comes out to $3.01. And then you see the reduced, it's $2.61, but the children contribute 40 cents, so it becomes $3.01. And then paid lunch, we get 36 cents for every paid lunch that we. So, and the meal last year, the at-cost, now this is with electricity, water, salaries, benefits, food, transportation and all that. It was $3.87. It cost us per meal to produce the lunch meal last year. The last page is a proposal that I have for you to look at, and a recommendation showing you what the current prices for breakfast and lunch are for children and for adults, and the proposed price increase. If you notice, for breakfast, I am asking for a recommendation for 15 cents, so that would make breakfast 75 cents. Elementary lunches from $1 to $1.25. That's a 25-cent increase. Paid middle and high school lunches, a 25-cent increase. That would make it $1.50. And adult and lunches, adult breakfast, 50 cents, and adult lunches, 50 cents too. And so it would generate $62,751.15. If we use the data that we have, the number of paid students that we have that eat. Okay.
Mr. England?
Yeah, thank you for coming here tonight, Ms. Bloom.
You're welcome.
My question is, how many kids do we have on free and reduced lunch? I heard what you said before about 50% of the, for the
Well,
breakfast.
80% of our students are on free and reduced lunch.
80%.
But in order to get that severe need breakfast, the school has to have 50% or more on free or reduced lunch in order to get
The reimbursement?
yes, that reimbursement. That's why. So
Okay.
if it's above, if it's above 50%, you get.
But I just wanted to make sure that the
Yes.
public knows that we got an 80%.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, we do.
Dr. Kraft?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Nakoshi. Ms. Bloom?
Yes.
I appreciate you putting it in such an outline. It makes it very easy. And of course, it's no doubt in my mind that we need an increase in order to continue to function properly. And I'm totally in favor of what you have outlined here. And if Mr. Nicosia would say I'm in order, I'd like to make a recommendation to send this to the full board, Mr. Nicosia.
Okay, I have a recommendation from Dr. Kraft, a second from Mr. England. Any other question, discussion? Please vote your machine.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you, Ms. Bloom.
You're welcome. Have to stay in the field.
Item number 12. Bid tabulations for bread and bread products.
This is a yearly bid, and this is a bid that is an all-or-nothing bid. On your bid tabulation, I put the lowest bidder, so you can see the lowest bidder, but it's not an all-or-nothing bid. Bimbo Bakeries won the sliced bread, hamburger buns, hot dog buns. Bender's won the poor boy loaves and the pistolets, and we are going to serve those in Frank's Place and for our banquets. We will be serving that. So we can't serve the others, but the hoagie buns are whole wheat too. So, and bids were received from 3 vendors, and that was the tabulation. That's a year bid.
Do I have a
Make a motion to move it to the full board.
I have a recommendation, Mr. DeFat, a second from Mr. Warner. Any discussions, questions? Please vote your machine.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item number 13, bid tabulations for milk and milk products.
Okay. This is also a yearly bid. This is the bid. I put the lowest bidder. Brown's Dairy won the majority of the items, so they will be our milk, if you approve, they'll be our milk distributor for next year.
Okay, have a recommendation for Mr. Warner.
Oh, sir.
Second from Dr. Lewis. Any questions or discussions? Please vote your machine.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item number 14, bid tabulations for spices and seasonings, Class 2, cereal, dried beans, and crackers, Class 3, frozen foods, Class 5, meat and meat products, Class 6, poultry and eggs, Class 7, seafood products, Class 8, and canned goods, Class 9, for the periods of July 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014.
We received bids from 6 vendors, and the lowest bidder, in all cases that met the bid specifications, will be awarded the bid. And this is a 6-month bid.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a recommendation from Dr. Lewis, second from Mrs. Dysart. Any questions, discussions? Being none, please vote your machine.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay, Agenda item number 16. 2013-2014 revised general fund and special revenue fund budgets. Mr. Fernandez.
Okay. In your packets are the suggested revisions to the 2013-2014 general fund and special revenue fund budgets. There's 5 exhibits. If you'd like to look at the general fund first, we have a summary page, which is exhibit number 1, which we've made some adjustments to, some slight adjustments. And then exhibits 2 and 3 are the details on revenues and expenditures. And basically, in the general fund, what we've done is we've gone through and adjusted our revenues, looking at our current revenue receipts to date and projected out through the end of the year, so we made some slight adjustments. We've decreased ad valorem revenues based on the current assessed valuations that we have, which we didn't have at the time of the original budget. So the assessed valuations went down this year slightly from the previous year. So there's a corresponding decrease in the revenues. However, we are having a slight increase in sales tax revenues, so that somewhat offsets some of that decrease. We've also gone in and adjusted all of our grants that are in the general fund to their actual amounts, as well as some other contributions and other monies that the district has received. Those are at their actual values, and they are both reflected in the revenues and the expenditure sides of the exhibits. The biggest change, of course, is the MFP increase due to increased student enrollment. So that's our yearly mid-year adjustment that we get based on our October 1st and February 1st student counts. So we did have an increase in that. And finally, there was the other change is, no, that was it. Okay, on the revenues. So those are the changes in the revenues that we have, and those are reflected both in the detail and the summary. In terms of expenditures, most of the changes reflect the changes in salaries and benefits for people that have been hired since the budget was originally adopted back in May. So teachers that have been hired during the course of the year due to the increased student enrollment and the related benefits for those teachers. The only other highlight really in the expenditure budget are the changes in the grants that we discussed before. Those were adjusted to reflect the final allocations of the general fund grants. And we also had a slight increase in utilities expense. We noticed that utilities were going up a little. We had a cold winter and things, so we slightly raised those amounts to reflect some additional expenses there. But basically, those are the changes in the general fund. If you look at Exhibit 1, that gives you the summary. We started out with a fund balance of approximately $9.7 million. With our revenues and expenditures, we are projected to end the year with approximately $10.5 million in our fund balance. That's the general fund. The lunch fund and special revenue funds are pretty straightforward. We did the same thing with the lunch fund, which is Exhibit 4. If I can find it. Here we go. All we did is just went through and, based on our current estimates, changed our revenues and expenditure estimates. As you know, with the increased enrollment, is also going to result in increased revenues from federal reimbursements and also increased costs for food costs and the like. And we also had a little increase in staffing as well. So that is a summary which compares the original budget to the revised budget. Right now, we're estimating total revenues of $4.1 million for the lunch fund, again, another $4.1 million in expenditures. So we're going to have a slight deficiency in expenditures over revenues, but nothing we can't handle, leading to an ending fund balance estimated at $446,000 for the lunch fund. And the special revenue funds in Exhibit 5, it's just based on the actual final grant allocations for the different grants that different federal grants that we receive, and it just details what our final allocations are. So those are basically in and out. They break even. You get the revenues and you spend it out. So this is just to update you with the final actual grant allocations that we're receiving for 2013 and 2014. But not too many surprises, but I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Are there any questions or comments? Being none, do I have a recommendation?
So moved. Have you got a motion yet?
No.
I'll move.
I have a
We move it to the full
recommendation from
board.
Dr. Kraft.
And then I have 17 questions for him, then at the full board.
I'll be happy to answer your questions, Dr. Craig.
Second from Ms. Dyson.
To the best of my ability.
Any
You
questions,
had
comments?
15 more.
Not, please vote. Machine.
All right.
Motion passes 10-0.
Dr. Kraft.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nicosia. At this point, we have the superintendent's recommendations.
At the regular meeting, we'll have as an agenda item, something, notice of millage levies will be presented to the school board at the May 27th, 2014 regular monthly meeting. There was a change in the state law, and the state law says it has to be advertised within a certain period of time prior to levying your regular millages, and at a public meeting, not less than 30 days and not greater than 60 days, you have to announce that you will be levying your millage at that next meeting. So if we do it on May 27th, then we have to announce it not less than 30 days before, no greater than 60. So our April 15th meeting falls in that range of dates. So I'm just letting you know that on the April 15th meeting, there will be an agenda item which will say, we intend to levy our millages for next year at the May 27th meeting. Even though there's not going to be any change or anything with it, it's just our operational renewal, and then we'll have to levy debt service millage enough to cover whatever the debt service is on our bonds. But there's not going to be, any increases or any real changes, but we just have to make that public announcement. It was a change in the law this past year. So, and other than that, the other thing I'd like to mention to the public is this weekend there'll be Shelmet High will present Glitter and Gloves. And if you haven't been to any of those musical presentations, this is one that is a don't miss this. It'll be performed Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and there was a Sunday matinee at 2 o'clock. I'm not sure if they made a change on that time, because I know the parade was rescheduled. But I do know that the night performances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night will be at 7 p.m. At the Cultural Arts Center, and I think you'd be amazed at the kids' performances, and it will be a Broadway musical theme. So please, if you'd like an evening of entertainment, that would be a great place to go. So it'll be all of our high school kids.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fauché. Mr. Campbell, you're recognized.
They may have already done this, but my question is, since this is the election year for the board, has the redistricting been finalized with the council?
The council did make the changes that are necessary.
Precincts.
And because there were a couple of split precincts, so they did make those adjustments. And Mr. Floyd is gathering that information together, sending it to the Secretary of State, because it's all past the Justice Department. That's not an issue at all. So the Secretary of State now has to then put the final blessing on it, and we should be hearing from that very soon. We're keeping an eye on it. It has to be done prior to the qualifying time. But it's just a matter of Mr. Floyd putting the paperwork together, sending it into Baton Rouge, and we don't anticipate any problems.
Good, thank you.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Move we adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Campbell. All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we stand adjourned.
These budgets.